Welcome back. Real Talk with Riggin. 745. Your closure and delay list is heartlandweather.com. Please check it there. I cannot take all of your phone calls whilst I'm on the air, so check it out there. All right, we're headed to the Anthony Service Company, Ream Heating and AC Pro Partner phone line. Now, I've been looking forward to this because I told you all the situation I had with my little monkey just a couple of weeks ago. Scariest day of my life. I still have nightmares. Total PTSD, but he's CEO of Formaggio cheese, but creator of the BUD or Bud choking survival technique, Anthony Mongiello, joining us now. Hi, Anthony.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. So I had my little monkey, who's 7 years old, special needs, choke on a piece of hard candy, and the Heimlich wasn't working, so I put my arms around his little sternum and ran into the kitchen counter, and that thing shot across the room like a bullet. But not before there were convulsions and blood vessels breaking and the color purple. I was terrified.
Choking is one of the most scariest situations to ever be a part of, whether it's happening to you or to a loved one or just someone that you see. And the reality of what Bud is to try and teach people how they can try and save themselves. And I've been teaching this technique to my children for many, many years now. Okay. And through that, through us trying to teach everybody tries to spread the word. But I can tell you my true life experience regarding Bud.
Okay. Please do.
The situation was like this. I was in my car alone, and I was eating what's called a pork rind, like a potato chip, only it's a fried piece of skin of pork. So what happened was when I bit into it, it sort of exploded in my mouth. And there was all these little particles in my mouth, and I started to cough. I felt like I was choking. And in doing this, I realized as I started to do what the normal reflex action is to breathe in, because as you're coughing, you're expelling all of the air that's in your lungs. You want to get more air in. And then I tried to do it, and I made the mistake, and I started to do it using my mouth. And I realized that what I was choking on was going to wind up in my throat, closing my windpipe off, my trachea. So what I did was I closed my mouth, and I took a very deep breath through my nose, and I was able to fill my lungs with air. And then I coughed. And I did it again and again, but I never would breathe in through my mouth in fear of taking these particles and closing off my windpipe. The reality is that when we're coughing, I call it choking, but your windpipe is not closed off like, unfortunately, your monkey was. And what happens is we can save our own life. So by breathing in through our nose, we can get all the air that we need into our lungs to be able to expel anything that could be blocking or in our mouth that could block our airway if we continue to breathe in through our mouth. So Bud is about being calm because we panic when we cough and we choke. And the first thing we want to do is inhale through our mouths, and that's the mistake. So if we be calm and then we think about it, we understand what's happening and what we need to do, which is the U in Bud, and the D is to do the technique. Take your hand, put it up against the bottom of your chin, and close your mouth so you can breathe deeply through your nose like filling up a balloon with air. It's going to want to contract your lungs, and you can expel anything. What you did with your grandchild was you saved your monkey's life because you were able to take whatever air was left in the lungs and push it out forcefully. But with Bud, while we're coughing, while we're choking, while that windpipe is still open, we don't want to inhale through our mouths and take whatever we're choking on and possibly close our windpipe off. And we breathe through our nose really deep and cough as hard as you can. And coughing, the velocity of coughing is if you're in a car moving 50 miles an hour. That's how much pressure we can create in coughing to dislodge and clear our airway and our mouth of anything or any kind of obstruction that could wind up closing our trachea.
You must have been terrified being alone in a car. I mean, there's literally no way to get help. I mean, what do? Start honking? I mean, you were alone.
I couldn't talk. I was all alone. But I realized I could save my own life, and that's what Bud is about. Teach the kids. Teach your family members. Teach everybody. Close your mouth. Breathe in through your nose and cough. I was at a show. I was out in Wisconsin. It wasn't a show. It was an award show. We were getting an award for the cheese company. And there's probably 1,000 people in the room. And I'm sitting at a table of 10, and my wife looks at me, and she says, "Babe, I think that man behind you is choking." I jump up from my chair, and I look, and the 9 other people have no idea that this man is in distress. They're laughing, they're talking, they're eating, they're drinking. I looked at him. I spun his chair around. I looked in his eyes. He looked at me, and I said, "Close your mouth and breathe really deep through your nose and cough." And he did it. And whatever was causing him to choke came out of his mouth and was all over this man's face. Mm-hmm. He could breathe again. He could talk. He looked at me and he said, "Oh, my God, you saved my life. Are you a doctor?" And I said, "No, I'm a cheese man." But I have – I've
Do you have a cape that says cheese man on it? You need one. But seriously, you did save his life. And I know that I saved Monkey's life, but it wasn't without pure terror. It's terrifying. And the thing that people do when they get terrified is lose their mind. So you got to keep your wits about you.
That is right.
That's the hardest thing to do. That's the hardest thing to do. That right there. But I mean, what I kept telling him, try to throw up, try to throw up. Well, Nana's pulling on you. But I literally did not have the strength. I thought I was going to break his ribs, but running into that kitchen counter and having him try to throw up at the exact same time, that sucker came out like a bullet. So did his dinner, but I didn't care. But I mean, it's literally like a projectile from the air in your lungs.
It is. It really is. The unfortunate fact is that when you need the Heimlich, it's too late for you to save yourself. Mm-hmm. But my feelings are this. The human body is designed in a way where you start to cough and choke because a piece of food touches the back of your throat it's not supposed to touch. And it's like a normal bodily instinct. But as we cough, like I said, you're expelling all the oxygen in your lungs. So the normal instinct is, I need more air. And you breathe in through your mouth, and then you lodge whatever you were choking on, and you shut your airway off. Awesome. If we're smart enough to put our hands under our mouth and breathe in through our nose, we can displace anything.
Very cool. So, I mean, with all this being said, don't forget, though, that you do need to learn the Heimlich maneuver as well, because you might be in a situation where that is what you're going to need. But choking is a very scary thing, and that person's going to be panicking just like someone who's drowning. So you've got to know what to do because they're losing it. You've got to be ready.
Absolutely. And there are products on the market that I've looked at in my research, and it's called LifeVac. Mm-hmm. And it's for children that are young and infants that you can't successfully do a Heimlich maneuver on. It's very difficult. Mm-hmm. It's called LifeVac. Everybody should look that up as well for all of the small children in our lives.
Yeah,
but teach our kids, teach everybody in the family about Bud. It will and could save their lives.
Yeah, I'm so glad you've thought of this technique and you're spreading the word. But Monkey choked on a marshmallow when he was a baby too, and I just reached in and pulled it out because he was small enough for me to get back there. But I mean, you never know when it's going to happen. That's why you've got to be ready. But I've got 1 minute left. So what is Formaggio cheese? What do you have there?
For 31 years, we've been making the best fresh mozzarella specialty items you can buy in any club store or supermarket. We make fresh mozzarella into these little tiny sticks, and we wrap it with Italian meats like prosciutto, supersada, pepperoni for the kids, Genoa salami. It's incredible. We also make some marinated fresh mozzarella you can find in a lot of your retail stores, your Walmart stores, your Costco stores, and your Sam's Club stores. This is the products we make. We make products at Formaggio with love the way we would make it at home ourselves.
Pepperoni for the kids? What you talking? I want the pepperoni. All right, Anthony Mongiello, he is CEO of Formaggio Cheese. I wanted to let him give that plug because Bud might save your life one day. Look it up online. Mongiello's Mongiello. So check him out. The new choking survival technique is called Bud. Anthony, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Now I seriously want that cheese.
Get the feeling that